Knitting a curved hemline is quite simple. It just makes use of the hold function as you knit more rows in the center of the work than you do on either left and right sides to form the curved edge. So in this example, I've knit a series of rows on waste yarn. I've E-wrapped across those needles and knit one row. I'm now going to hold a selection of needles opposite the carriage to hold and knit across. Then I'm going to hold the same number of needles, in this instance 11, on the side opposite the carriage for this row, which is going to leave me with 4 needles in the center that I'm going to knit across. Before I knit this first row, I'm going to wrap the needle on the carriage side and push back the needle of the group opposite the carriage side as I start to knit wider and wider rows containing more and more stitches, which will eventually create this curved hem. So here in the center, I'm going to hang a weight, and you can see that I've knit 2 rows here where everything else just has 1 row. From here on out, it's just repeating the same process. Wrap the needle on the carriage side and place the first needle in the group opposite the carriage into work. Depending on the desired slope or shape of the hemline, you might have to do a little bit of calculating. Obviously, increasing by 1 from the center, as I'm doing in this example, is going to create a very specific slope. Of course, the gauge that your yarn and tension dial settings help to achieve on the machine will also have to be taken into consideration, but this doesn't mean that you can't be pushing 2 needles back into work opposite the carriage, which, should we use the same yarn and the same tension dial setting as I am in this example, would make for a shallower slope. As I'm nearing the end here, I'm not going to continue to decrease across the entirety of the work. I want to leave a flat edge to make a shirt tail hem, so to speak, at the side seams of this pretend shirt back or sweater back. So after I wrap this last needle, I'm going to put all of these needles on the opposite side back into work. Knit across the row to finish it out, and then knit back across every needle to finish up the shaping. So there's a little bit of a leveled edge on either side, like a shirt tail hem would be at the side seam. I've also only knit 1 row on top of my cast on edge in this example. You can certainly knit 3, 4, 5, a number of rows before you start this shaping to make a little bit more of a substantial hem edge than what you're going to see here when I take this off the machine. Off of the machine with the waste yarn removed, you can see how the shaping has created this curved hem edge. Again, I had mentioned previously that you can knit several rows before you start working this short row shaped hem edge, which would make for a bit of a more substantial edge than just this single row, which is basically just the bind on that you can see here. You could even reform several rows to create a ribbed edge, then work the short row shaping to achieve an even cleaner, more professional effect.